Hello, loves. So, right now we're going to go into 3 steps to forgiveness. How to forgive. These are the 3 steps that I try to practice as often as possible. And I love sharing with you because then when I forget to practice what I've asked you to practice, then I really am in a place where I get to lovingly request that I continue to practice. So, the 3 things we're going to go through around how to forgive. The first one is to make a commitment, a desire, or an intention to actually forgive. Like we have to have a say. I've found sometimes things just happen right in our lives and unfold. With forgiveness, what I've noticed, the most powerful journeys of forgiveness happen when we are a conscious choosing participant in the forgiveness. And so it takes that moment, that declaration, that baby stepping in to say, I don't know how I'm going to forgive this. I don't know when I'm going to forgive this, but I do want to forgive this. And if in that moment too, you can jump ahead to imagine what your life would be like if you weren't holding this grievance. The amount of times it comes up and it holds you back, or it shuts you down, or it gets you angry, or it again disconnects you from the present moment, how it ripples out to your other relationships or areas. So again, having a moment where you imagine, you don't know the how or when, but you imagine that this grievance has dissipated and you've learned from it, what would your life be like? So hopping ahead till that moment of like, oh, if I wasn't carrying this weight in my mind, in my psyche, what would that feel like? So from that place, stating a desire or an intention, a commitment to be in the process on the journey of forgiveness. So that's the first one. The second thing, I feel like, and we've said this in other areas, but around forgiveness, it is so essential. I don't want to be dramatic, but it's almost, I feel like, dangerous to not do a step like this if you're in the process of forgiveness. And so the second thing that I like to practice, I recommend, is that you drop in to the part of you that has been hurt, right? To that, again, that younger part, that ego part, and again, going back to the age you were when that happened, or the time you were in when this situation happened that you are having trouble forgiving, and going back to that moment, that day, and asking yourself again, like, how is that part of you feeling? And most importantly, listening to that part, but most importantly saying, if we were to forgive this situation, this person, what would we need in place that would make you feel safe again? So what loving boundaries would we need to put in place? What non-negotiables will we need to be in place? So again, then we're in this dialogue with the wounded part of us, the ego part, the part that's feels like it's been betrayed, hurt, abandoned, all those things. That part gets a say, gets to be a part and a voice in this forgiveness process. But it's met with this loving, wise part of us. That part when we drop into our soul or our heart, or those moments when we just feel the most like ourselves. And that part of us gets to say, I see you. I want us to let go of this, right? And what do you need? Okay, let's say this loving boundary will be in place. You get to forgive this person, but there can be space. You get to forgive this situation, but in the future, if you ever find yourself in this situation, I promise you, I will get support. I will leave. I won't let this happen again. So again, the gift of this heartbreaking contrast often is we get to learn how to care for ourselves. We get to learn how to support ourselves as we move through harder times in the future. And as, again, we don't disappear and hide from life, but we get to support ourselves and say, these are my clear yeses, these are my clear nos. So again, to feel into the loving boundaries and the non-negotiables you want to take with you if you were to forgive this person or this situation. It's a big one, huh? It's so powerful. So powerful. And then the third step is, this is when, again, we ask again, a loving, trusted source within ourselves or outside of ourselves. We ask a loving, trusting source, how do I forgive? The question of how do I forgive? And in going through a forgiveness process recently, and it felt so overwhelming, every morning I would just pick one of these angel cards, and I would just say, Angel, who wants to be with me to guide the forgiveness today? Because I have no idea in hell how to do this. So I would pick an angel every day, and that would I would ask for the support. I would ask for the guidance. So you can ask your soul to guide you forward in this forgiveness process. You can ask your heart. You can ask God. You can ask life force. You can ask your angels. Whatever is a loving, trusted source, to go to that part, to ask to guide you into the next step of forgiveness. And then it becomes, as we remember, the first step is committing, right? And committing, I'm in this, I'm part of this conversation. And then we ask to hear from a loving support, and then we commit and take action, and it goes back and forth. We get to volley in this co-creation of forgiveness. So those are some of the steps that I take towards forgiveness. Please let me know how they feel to you, what you want to try, and anything else that's coming up right now. And I send you a lot of love around this topic, and I look forward to hearing from you and experimenting with the art of forgiveness. And as always, you can head on over to elizabethjohnson.net and sign up for the free newsletter. You can subscribe here, and I will talk with you very, very soon. Bye.